Imagine walking across your living room and time traveling one full hour into the future. Most of us take time for granted. You wake up, check your phone, and the whole world agrees. It's 7 a.m. But somewhere in the United States, that agreement completely falls apart. There's a town, a real, ordinary American town, where one side of the street lives in a completely different hour than the other side. Where a restaurant can close at 9 p.m., but if you walk across the road, it's only 8. Where neighbors technically live in different time zones every single day of their lives. This isn't science fiction. This is Lloydminster. And once you understand why this exists, you'll never look at a clock the same way again. To understand Lloydminster, you need to understand one thing. Time zones in North America weren't handed down from the heavens. They were drawn by humans, and humans make mistakes, compromises, and very strange decisions. When the time zone lines were carved across the continent in the 1800s, they followed one simple rule: longitude. Every 15 degrees of longitude, you shift 1 hour. Clean, logical, simple. Except when a city sits right on that line. Lloydminster was founded in 1903 as a single colony straddling the border between what would become the provinces of Alberta and Saskatchewan in Canada. But here's what most people don't realize. Its story is identical to several towns along the U.S. state lines where time zone borders cut right through populated areas. Places like Texline, Texas, sitting on the Mountain Central Divide, or communities along the Indiana-Ohio border. Towns where a family's kitchen is in one time zone and their backyard is in another. The concept of a town split by time is 100% American and 100% real. So what does it actually feel like to live there? Imagine you're a kid. School starts at 8 a.m. But which 8 a.m.? Your friend who lives 2 blocks away, on the other side, wakes up an hour earlier just to be at the same desk at the same time. Your bus schedule depends entirely on which side of the line your house sits on. Businesses have to post 2 sets of hours on their front doors. A diner might open at 7 a.m. Mountain or 8 a.m. Central. Your phone automatically switches time zones the second you drive across town. Meetings between neighbors require a quick mental calculation. Are you on my time or your time? Hospitals are the wildest part. When a baby is born in a hospital sitting on the border, the birth certificate time depends on which wing of the building the delivery room is in. 2 babies born minutes apart can officially have birth records showing they arrived in completely different hours. And daylight saving time? Don't even get started. Some states observe it, some don't. For people in these split towns, there are periods of the year where the time difference between neighbors shifts again, turning a 1-hour gap into a half-hour gap, or eliminating it entirely for a few months before snapping back. Life becomes a constant low-grade math problem. Here's the obvious question. Why don't they just fix it? The answer is that everyone in these towns has quietly adapted, and changing would cost them more than keeping the chaos. For one thing, you'd have to choose a side, and nobody wants to be the town that lost their time zone. Local identity gets wrapped up in something as abstract as what hour it is. Businesses that have built their schedules around the split don't want to rebuild everything from scratch. There's also a political reality. Time zones are set at the federal level in the United States by the Department of Transportation, not by towns, not by counties, not even by states acting alone. Getting a time zone change requires petitions, hearings, federal review, and years of bureaucratic grinding. Most towns decide the confusion is easier to live with. And honestly, the people who live there kind of love it. There's a strange pride in it. It becomes part of who you are. We're the town that breaks time. That's not a problem. That's a story. These towns reveal something profound about time itself. It's not real in the way we think it is. Time zones are a social agreement, nothing more. The sun doesn't care what hour your phone says. Physics doesn't care which side of a painted road line you're standing on. The decision that it's now 3 p.m. is a collective choice that humans made. And in these rare places, that choice breaks down completely. There are over 24 time zones on Earth. Some countries, like India, use half-hour offsets. Nepal uses a 45-minute offset. China, an entire continent-sized country, runs on a single time zone, meaning sunrise in the West happens at what the clock calls 10 a.m. Every single time zone line is at some level arbitrary. These split towns just make that arbitrariness impossible to ignore. The clock on your wall isn't telling you what time is. It's telling you what time we all agreed to pretend it is. And somewhere in America, 2 neighbors standing 5 feet apart have agreed to different answers. The next time someone asks you what time it is, remember that the answer depends entirely on where you're standing, who drew the lines, and which agreement you're living inside. If this made you see the world a little differently, hit that subscribe button, because that's exactly what this channel does every single week. We take the strange, overlooked, quietly extraordinary corners of reality and pull them into the light. You won't want to miss what's coming next. What other impossible places exist right here in America? Drop your ideas in the comments below.